Hello students, and welcome to week 5, the final week of Income Tax 2. Here again is our D2L homepage. When I get this video for week 5 posted, I will attach the required tax forms like I've done for week 4 and 3. So let's scroll down here and look at the calendar. Today is Tuesday, November 19th, so it is the first day of week 5. This Friday is when the original post is due, and then next Monday, the 25th, is the last day of class. Now, nobody has contacted me yet requesting additional time, but if you think you're going to need some more time, let me know ahead of time, because after the fact is going to be a little late. So I've got a deadline to get final grades submitted to the university as well. So I can grant you a little extra time, but we need to have that worked out ahead of time. Okay, let's scroll up here and look at what we're going to be covering in week 5. And here we go. We are going to be focusing on the S corporation. An S corporation takes the best things of a C corporation, which we looked at in week 3, and the best parts of a partnership and tries to combine them. So you get a lot of the deductions that a corporation can get that a partnership can't, but with an S corporation you don't have the double taxation. So instead of the corporation paying tax and then the owners paying tax like with a C corporation, the S corporation just calculates how much income belongs to each owner, provides a K-1 to them, and then it's taxed only on their personal return, just like a partnership. So that's a very simplified explanation of the difference. So our reading for this week is going to be chapter 17, so it's just the single chapter. We have a discussion question that deals with some individuals with an S corporation who want to terminate it and break it up, and then one of the owners is moving out of the country, so they won't be a U.S. resident. So how does being a non-resident impact the tax on that? So you can present your ideas on that. Okay, in Connect we're going to have Learn Smarts for chapter 17. We are going to have the multiple choice. Excuse me, I'm still drinking my coffee this morning. Multiple choice, and then we have a problem, and it's just part of that. And then we have, come on, there we go. We have our tax return problem, and we can go up here to resources, content. It's slow. Course documents, week 5, which is modern day clothing. So here's where you find out the result, the information you need to do this. Okay, I'm going to spend a little bit more time than I have in the past 2 weeks, and we're going to look at the forms necessary. So here is the 1120S. I'm going to walk through some of the things that I'm seeing are common issues. This header section, all of it needs to be filled out, especially the total asset number. A lot of you all are missing this from the balance sheet. So this is what is the assets at the end of the year. And the forms I was able to come up with were the 18. I know the problem says we're doing this for 17, but just use these forms. So you're going to need to make sure you get this. Make sure you fill out A, B, and C. When you get down to other deductions here, you'll see it says attach a statement. Yes, you need to attach a statement listing what are all of the other deductions you have added up and what's the dollar amounts to come up with your total. So don't forget to add that. And there's not an IRS form for these attachments. You can do it in Word, you can do it in Excel, whatever you're comfortable with, but there needs to be an attachment when it says attach statements. That is required. So that's that page. When we get over to the second page, don't forget to answer all of these questions. You will also let's see, on there's some dollar amounts that you're going to need to fill in here. So make sure you get your K. Make sure you get your L. This is just a balance sheet. Make sure your balance sheet balances. That's a big thing. Don't forget to fill out all of your M1 and your M2. Okay, so that takes us through this. Then we have the 1125A, which is your cost of goods sold. So you will fill in both the name and their employer ID number. And some of this you're just going to back into. There is no cost of labor, so you kind of have some of these N numbers back into what purchases need to be. Do not forget to answer the questions down here. Hint, hint. Then we're going to have the 1125E. You have already seen this in our other problems. Make sure you get their name and the employer ID number of the corporation. List your 3 owners. Fill in each of these columns. You have to provide their social security number, what percent of their time devoted to the business. It's 100% on these. What percent do they have preferred or common stock, and what percent of the total company stock do they own? What's their compensation? You will need to total it on line 2. Then line 4 is line 2 and line 3 combined. Now there isn't anything for line 3, hint, hint. So 2 and 4 will be the same, but you have to complete that. Then we have the Schedule D. So again, make sure you get the name and the employer ID number at the top. And this is a capital gains and loss. So there's, when you read through it, there's some unimproved land that they sold. So that unimproved land will need to be listed on this form. You'll need to put how much they sold it for, $850,000. What is their cost basis? $250,000. How much profit is that? Well, take 850 less 250 and it's 600. Then you're going to need to calculate the tax on that, $140,000. Then what is the difference? I take the 600 less the tax on it, it should be 460. So if you're watching this video, you're getting some hints. Coming on down to part 3, you will need to complete all of this. I think the only lines here that don't have a number is going to be 19 and 22. So make sure you do not forget to come down and complete this. Then we have, if I can go here, our 4562, and I am flipping through papers here if you hear that. We're going to need to complete this for our depreciation. Again, do not forget the header. We've got to have the name and the employer ID number. So there are going to be some assets. There's going to be this section down here, and you need to complete all the columns. They only have 5-year property, so this one line will need to be completed and then totaled down here. There is nothing needed on the second page of this, so we can then move on to the 8949. This again is disposition, so it's going to come back to that land that we already filled out. Again, don't forget the name and the employer ID number. There is going to be one of these check boxes filled out. You can guess which one of these check boxes needs to be filled out, and then you'll come down here for our land that you sold, unimproved land, date they bought it, date they sold it, what they sold it for, what their cost basis was, and then what the gain, which we already have those numbers from the other form. Then come down here and total the columns. And then we have our K1. You're going to have multiple K1s, one for each owner. So this is a rather long problem, but if you have any questions, do not hesitate to contact me. But I hope me walking through these forms has helped. Some of you have missed just a few little things, so good luck on this, and I've enjoyed the 5 weeks and 10 weeks with some of you, and good luck with the rest of your career here at MACU.